Hello my dirty little dumplings and welcome back to Brian Abroad, the channel where an American, hi, that's me, I'm the Brian part, navigates life in a different country and tries some new and interesting things along the way. If you like this video and you'd like to keep up with my shenanigans here in China, click that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video that's somehow even more random than the last one. In today's video, honestly, today's video is gonna be a hot mess, so just like, get ready for that. So basically, I moved, and today I wanna show you guys my new apartment. I wasn't really planning on making this video, but it turns out I have a lot of free time on my hands because I'm in a mandatory 2-week quarantine in my apartment. Yay. So if you guys saw the last video that I posted here, then you know that I just went to Shanghai Disneyland with Vivian. It was so much fun. Bought this t-shirt. What do you think? It's really like hideous, so I love it. I was in Shanghai for like one day, basically. I took the train to Shanghai on Thursday, went to Disney on Friday, came back on Saturday. I was home for 6 days when all of a sudden, like, the police from my community came to my door and they were like, "Hi, we're the police. We heard that you went to Shanghai, so we just want to let you know that like you're in quarantine now and you can't leave your house for 2 weeks." And I was like, whoa, Vanessa, 2 weeks? I've already been back in Beijing for 6 days. And they were like, okay, fine, 8 days. And I was like, are we bargaining now? Should I try to like put in a counter offer? Like, I'll take 3 days in quarantine for 1,000, Alex. So basically, as you probably already know, the Delta variant of COVID-19 is causing huge problems everywhere right now. I know back home in America, I'm sure you've all read about the super spreader events known as Florida and Texas. Psst, get vaccinated. Get the facts, then get the vax. Did I just make that up or did I see that somewhere? Here there have been some like small clusters of cases here and there, but like China's super serious when this stuff starts to appear. Like they're really quick to shut things down, quarantine people, close things off so that it doesn't become like a huge problem. So basically when I went to Shanghai, it wasn't really a problem in that area, but when I came back, there had been some cases there, so they like retroactively quarantined everybody for 2 weeks, anyone who's been in that area. So here we are at my new apartment, which is exactly where I'm gonna be for the whole next week still. I actually haven't been very active here, partially because I moved. If you're just ending up here for the first time by some horrible mistake, hi, I'm Brian. I'm currently teaching in China. Because it was the end of the school year, like I was really busy with final tests and grading and report cards and cleaning up my office and doing all those types of things. And on my channel, I always try to include my Chinese friends in my videos as much as possible, but they're all teachers too, so they were just as busy as I am. And then my two closest Chinese friends, Vivian and Daniel, who you've seen in many videos here, actually traveled outside of Beijing right after the school year ended. And then I was really focused on finding a new apartment before my previous lease ended. So that's basically why I haven't really been making any videos here. That's why Vivian and I still haven't watched Return of the Jedi, but I swear if you were watching our other Star Wars videos and you're waiting for that one, I swear it's coming. Everyone's back in Beijing right now, but we're just in quarantine. My battery just died and I don't know if I like messed anything up, so if things look completely different for some reason, sorry, I thought I had enough power in my battery, but apparently I didn't. Anyway, I already made a whole video on my channel about my last apartment here in China. If you haven't seen that one, you might want to go watch that one first and then come back to this one. Basically, I have been living in a shoebox studio apartment for like the past 3 years. I just needed a change, you know, like it was way too small. I didn't have any space, especially after starting YouTube and buying lights and cameras and action. Oh, I didn't buy action. And tripods and microphones and all the things that like you need to create the illusion that you know what you're doing, which like obviously I don't know if you've seen like all of this, but I don't. But like, it was just time to find a bigger place. And you guys, let me tell you, I saw some wild apartments before I ended up where I am now. The first apartment that my agent showed me still had a whole family of people living in it. Grandma, mom and dad, the baby. They're trying to like sit down and eat dinner while the agent is showing me their personal space basically. Not uncomfortable at all, being like, so I'm gonna walk into your bedroom now that you're still very much living in. Is that that okay with you? While they're like sitting down eating dinner. Literally every piece of furniture in that apartment was like 100% broken. One of the bed frames in the room was like the Titanic. Like the whole complete front of the bed frame was like on the floor, and you could see like the crack in the wood down the side. The couch was being held up by wooden blocks, and I was like, that couch looks a little weird. And they're like, yeah, it's broken. Like you can't use that. I'm like, I need to get out of here. Like I've seen enough. Then a friend, actually Vivian, hooked me up with another agent that she knew, and this agent was like a wild card. Like she spoke English, which was already like kind of, I don't know, like unexpected, but like some of the things she said to me were just a little bit weird. Like at one point she was like, so where are you from? And I was like, oh, America. And she was like, ooh, American girl. Like, thank you. And like it was weird because even like way after that conversation had already taken place, whenever it was like really quiet, I could hear her being like, American girl, to herself. Anyway, so this agent took me to 2 different places. They were like a little bit out of the area that I really wanted to live in. Like I'm not a morning person. If I don't live like right next to my job, I know I'm like a teacher and this was like a dumb life decision, but if I don't live like right next to my job, like I'm gonna be late all the time. So she's like, yeah, but like these are the best apartments we have. I only want to show you like the best quality, only the best for you, American girl, or whatever. So she brings me to the first, you know, best quality apartment, and oh my god. As soon as you walk into the apartment, there were metal like college dorm bunk beds like smack dab in the living room. There were empty like noodle cups, beer bottles, cigarette butts all over the place. There was like 2 inches of like black soot all over the floor, sunflower seed shells. I was like, oh my god. And after like 12 seconds, the agent was like, okay, let's go. Come on, let's go, let's go. Then she took me to another apartment, and like, I don't know, one of the bedrooms had like a headboard on the wall that I swear to you was made out of paper towels. I didn't take any pictures or videos because I wasn't planning on like making this video, but it was literally like someone took like a sheet of paper towels and they like glued it to the wall, but they didn't even like do it straight. It was like, it was such a disaster. Again, I don't have any proof of this because I didn't take pictures, but because I'm such a swell guy,
I'm a man of respect around here. They love me around here. I'm a swell guy.
I'm gonna do like a reenactment for you real quick. Okay, ready? Here we go. Ta-da! Oh, that's beautiful. So straight, so cushiony. This wall ain't getting wet with these bad Larrys here. There you go. Headboard by Bounty. So that was a no. Then the original agent from the first apartment I saw took me to see a loft apartment, which sounded kind of cool. When I found my agent, I told her that one of my requirements was that there needs to be like a real kitchen with a real fire stove, gas stove. I have been cooking on an electric hot plate because my previous apartment didn't have a stove, and I'm just over it. Like I'm ready for like a real adult stove. And she's like, okay, don't worry, this place definitely has a stove. We go to the apartment. I guess like the old woman that owned the apartment was there to show us the apartment, and like instead of being like, oh hi, welcome, this is the apartment, I hope you like it, she was like, this place is too big for you. And I was like, okay, well, it's my money, so like I can decide how much I want to pay on rent. Like that's not your job, grandma. And then there's no stove, and I'm like, dude, where's the stove? So the agent is like, hey, I thought there was a stove here. And the lady's like, he lives alone, he can get takeout. It's like, why are you telling me like my life? Like this place is too big for me. I don't deserve to cook food. Like this is so weird. So I was already like, I'm done. But I didn't want to be rude. I mean, she can be rude, but I didn't want to be rude. So I was like, well, I'll just finish looking at the apartment and then I'll be like, okay, thank you, bye-bye, and like never talk to them again. So I go upstairs and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen the bathroom yet anywhere. And I see like this closed door. So I'm like, oh, this must be the bathroom. I literally opened the door and walk in on some guy pooping. I have no idea who he was. And I was like, cool, hi, nice to meet you. And then I went back down the stairs and I was like, we can go now. While I was leaving that awesome situation, someone from my school messaged me and they were like, hey, we have another agent that we want you to meet. They're actually like outside of the building that you're in right now waiting for you. So when you go outside, find them, they're gonna show you an apartment. These 2 guys, they show me another apartment in the same exact building, but like I'm over this building. I didn't really like it. I'm like, hey, do you guys have like any other apartments? And they're like, yeah, well, we have one that's in the very first apartment community that I looked at with all the broken furniture and the Titanic bed. And I was like, oh God, it's not like that apartment, is it? And they're like, no, like this one is nice, look. And they're showing me the pictures on their phone and like is actually really nice. So I was like, take me there right away. And they did. They like put me in their car, they drove me. I was thinking about like how weird it is that like I'm in like a different country, even though I've been here for a long time. Sometimes I'm still like, this is weird. Like I'm in another country, speaking another language with people and like just randomly getting into strange men's cars and like they're driving me around and I'm like, this is safe. I'm not gonna die. It's kind of weird like what you do here sometimes in comparison to like how it works back home. But anyway, they take me to the apartment and like the other apartments that I had seen up till that point were so atrocious that like going into this apartment, I was like, I'm in Cinderella's castle. This is amazing. Everything is perfect. Nothing can go wrong here at Disney World, which kind of like comes into play later, but I really actually like the apartment a lot. The only thing that I didn't like was that it's a 2-bedroom apartment and the second bedroom was full of pink little girl furniture. Pink bed, it was like a bunk bed type thing, I don't even know. Pink cabinet, pink computer desk, pink curtains, and like, I'm not a little girl. I don't have a little girl. I'm a grown-ass man, like I can't use a pink little girl's bed. I don't want to sit at a pink desk and like, I don't know what this is. Do homework or like make videos or whatever I'm doing. Probably just watching YouTube videos and being a lazy slob. But like, it wasn't like my aesthetic. So I was like, listen, I really like this apartment. I don't need this furniture. If the landlord could come and agree to take this furniture away, then I would 100% want to rent this apartment. So they call the landlord and they're like, hey, I found this person. He really likes the apartment, but he doesn't like the pink furniture. And the landlord is reluctant to move the furniture because he thinks he'll be able to rent the apartment to a family with a little girl, which seems kind of like very oddly specific, but whatever. And then he won't have to do anything. He won't have to move the furniture. So he's like, I'm gonna think about it and I'll let him know later tonight. I have no direct contact with the landlord. This is all through like the agent. The agent is like the wall between me and the landlord. I don't know why I'm doing all of this, but you know how it goes here on this channel. So like the agents drive me back to my house and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, I really don't want this to slip through the cracks. I've seen way too many like crappy apartments and like I really like this place, so I need to do like a little bit of self-advocating. So I sent the agent a message and I was like, listen, I really like the apartment. I just don't like that furniture. I don't need a discount. I'm not looking for like a reduced fee because it doesn't come with a room full of furniture. I literally just want him to like take the furniture away. He can sell it himself. He can do whatever he wants. He can make a bonfire out of it. Like, I don't care. I don't smoke. I am not like a partier. I'm quiet. I'm clean. I pay my rent on time. I don't have children who are gonna like draw all over the walls. I mean, I'm pretty much like the ideal tenant. And so I was just like, all you need to do is take out the pink furniture and then you can have all of this. And then at like 7 o'clock at night, I got a message from the agents who are like, we are coming to get you right now to drive you to the apartment and sign the contract. And I was like, whoa, like this happened so fast. It went from like, we don't know if we want to rent this apartment to you to like, get to the chopper. The next thing I know, I was in my new apartment, signing the contract and sending 4 months of rent to the landlord. I don't want to talk about it. I think I was like a little bit too excited by how like not as terrible this apartment was in comparison to all the other ones. There's definitely some things that I like seriously overlooked before I said yes to the dress basically. And after I moved in, I was like, oh, what did I do? For example, when I saw the kitchen the first day, I thought the kitchen looked great. I was like, it's clean, it's bright, it's red, like it's really cool. No, there was literally 5 years worth of grease on everything in the kitchen, in the cabinets, on the stove, dripping from the walls, on the ceiling. The whole room was like a grease ball. And I was like, oh my God, how did I not know this the first time? It ended up taking me 3 days and 2 full bottles of like heavy duty grease cleaner to make the kitchen look livable. Also, the toilet was taking like 8 minutes to stop running after you flushed it. Like you would flush it and it would go down and it was fine, and then it would just like hiss for like literally 8 minutes, which I know because I'm ridiculous and I actually like set a timer on my phone and was like, how many minutes can this go on for? Also, it turns out that the landlord was actually the previous tenant here as well. Before he decided to move somewhere else and start renting it, it was him and his daughter and his wife. And like these people really like hooks. Like there are hooks everywhere. There were like Hello Kitty hooks and Baymax hooks in the kitchen, and here a hook, there a hook, everywhere a hook. And like I'm still finding hooks to this day in weird places and like prying them off the wall with a knife. You know what would be like a really great place for a hook is like right behind the bathroom radiator. I just feel like I'm gonna get a lot of use out of that. I can hang anything, pots and pans, maybe some like dried meats. Explain to me, what would you put here and why? After I moved in, I also realized that the landlord left like a ton of crap behind. There was a baby clothes like manual washing machine. I don't know why you can't just throw baby clothes in the washing machine, but whatever. There were these like weird old greasy stools that I found piled up in the kitchen. There was a like Victoria's Secret pink dog statue. Weird. He just left all this crap here and I was like, girl, you don't live here anymore, come get your shit. And he did, which was fine, but it was still like, why did you leave all this stuff here? So now that you know the whole backstory of how I ended up here in this apartment, let me give you guys a little tour and show you some of the things that I like about this apartment and some of the things that I maybe don't like so much about this apartment. Also, this is not one of those like before and after like house flipping videos where I like lay out a fancy candle tray and like paint an accent wall and I'm like, oh, aren't you jealous? I cleaned for a week, I moved in, I went to Disney for one day, I got quarantined for 2 weeks. I'm not even finished 100% unpacking. There were no like IKEA furniture trips. I have done zero redecorating really, so I'm just gonna show you like the very bare bones horror show that is all of the things that I don't like about where I live. But then like the things that I do as well. So first of all, I love the space. My old apartment was a studio and now I have a 2-bedroom apartment. And it's so nice to have like separate everything. I have an actual living room. I have a separate dining area. The washing machine has like its own little room in the kitchen. It's not like tucked under a counter. Also, the washing machine doesn't do this, which is nice. I have another little area that's just for hanging laundry. Overall, there's not really much to see in the bathroom. You know the deal. Toilet, shower, rusty rack that I'll probably fall and hit my head on someday, killing me instantly. You know, just stuff like that. And here the vanity is outside of the bathroom, which means that when I shower and there's water all over the floor, I don't need to continue to stand on the wet floor to finish getting ready. So again, by American standards, that might seem a little bit weird, but I feel like it's the best case scenario you can have here if you still have like a classic Chinese bathroom. There are 2 problems with this area though. Number 1, there's no outlet by the sink, so when I want to use my shaver or like the hair dryer after I put 10 tons of wax in my hair, there's nowhere to plug either of those in. I have to use this extension cord from the Great Depression and like move it over to the sink so that I can do that. So far it hasn't been an issue, but it is like obviously not the most convenient way to do these things. The other problem is this chick who I literally didn't even notice when I came to look at the apartment the first time. No idea, not even in the slightest. And then when I did finally see her, I'm like, oh, well, it's just like a sticker. And I tried to peel her off the wall, but she is made of tile. So she's here to stay, which means I need to find something to cover her up because like, I don't really want her looking at me when I'm standing in front of the mirror like a hot mess every day. It's bad enough that I have to see me. I don't need any other like audience for that situation. The outlet thing too is kind of like a general problem in this apartment. There are outlets in really weird places where there shouldn't be outlets, like all the way up here, for example, or, you know, directly over the stove where you would be cooking over an open fire. But then there's no outlets in places like in front of the sink where you would need to, you know, shave and blow dry your hair and charge your toothbrush and do stuff like that. But that's okay. I mean, at least this area is pretty bright. I think that this apartment gets a lot of like really good natural light in the daytime. It feels really peaceful here. Light-wise, we'll get to some of the other stuff in a minute. My old bathroom was like a dungeon and I couldn't really see, and the light inside was terrible. The daylight didn't really hit it. So I really like the lighting in this apartment. I can't complain about that. Let's talk about the kitchen. First of all, I love the red. I told my Chinese friends like, oh my god, a red kitchen, and they all thought I was like crazy. But let me tell you a little story. So when I was growing up in Massachusetts, in my city there was this retro antique appliance store called Sozio, and we used to drive by it like every day. We would drive by it and you could see it from the road. You could see the showroom right up in the front had like all this like red leather diner furniture, like diner booths, diner chairs, like retro black and white checkered floor, red Coca Coca-Cola machine. And I don't know, ever since I saw that showroom when I was like 5, I was like, I want a red retro kitchen with like red toaster and a red refrigerator and red everything and like a black and white floor. I've always wanted that because I'm weird, I guess, and I get fixated on weird things from when I was like a fetus, but I'm like a little bit closer to that now. I don't love that like this cabinet door is missing, but when I asked the landlord like, yo, where's the door? He was like, it wasn't even here when I bought the place, so there's really nothing he can do about it. So that's fair. Now there's just like this weird pink trash can there that he left and I don't know what to do with it. Also, I finally have a gas stove with a real fire, which means I can cook more than one dish at a time and I can finally throw the fancy dinner party that I've been planning. Something else that I don't love is that the ventilation in this building is definitely like the house that Jack built, and when other people in their apartments are cooking or smoking cigarettes and they turn the fan on to like suck the smoke and grease and like pork air out of their apartment, it blows into my apartment through the vent above the stove. And so like every time I go into my kitchen, it smells like someone was making Kung Pao chicken. Oh, someone is definitely making fish. All right, gotta go, get out of here, gotta go. Oh my God. It's not my favorite. Sometimes I turn mine on to like recirculate it, probably to somebody else's apartment. Who knows where it's going? I don't know why it's not going like outside. But yeah, it's definitely like a bit of a problem. So the kitchen windows are just like always open all the time. And even in the winter time, like that might just be a thing because I don't want to have to smell someone else's gross food every time I go into my kitchen or walk into my house from the outside. When you do first walk into my apartment, I have a lot of space for storage. There's a shoe rack for all the shoes. There's this tall closet here, which is good for more shoes basically. And like I can throw my backpack in here maybe, my umbrella is in here. There's also this little rack here that like when people come over, they can hang their coat, their umbrella. So I think that's really cool that there's like so much space for everything. The couch is truly awful and definitely needs to be replaced. This is another thing that like I didn't really notice because it was covered up when I came in, and like I just assumed like, yeah, that's a couch. But it's literally like 3 car seats like stuck together and covered with a blanket from IKEA. They couldn't even be bothered to like cover it with the same material. It's like, what is this? It even has like these horrible like metal like adjustable headrest things. Like it's horrendous. I feel like I'm in a 1985 Buick every time I sit on my sofa. Also, the landlord left this here and I honestly didn't even notice it until like 2 days ago. It kind of reminds me of like when you're in the electric chair and they like put the thing over your head to kill you. And I'm not really sure like what it accomplishes by being here. Does it even work? Okay, cool. Also, this has nothing to do with my apartment, but I just had Starbucks delivered and I'm gonna do a little bit of a taste test. I saw this really interesting drink on the menu today. It's like a beer flavored cloud latte. And I was like, wow, that sounds disgusting. I have to try it. But I was reading the description and I think it might actually be butter beer, which sounds amazing. So let's find out. Oh, what? It's beer. What? That is wild. And it's not even gross. So in the description it says like butter beer. So I was thinking like, I don't know, I'm not a Harry Potter person, I'm sorry, but I was like, Harry Potter, like butter beer, it tastes like butterscotch and deliciousness, right? Is that true? But this is like sweet beer. It literally just tastes like a beer and coffee. But like it's not horrible at the same time, and there's no alcohol, so I'm being responsible. Even though like if I was like off my ass drunk in quarantine, like definitely not gonna do anything too risky. I might like escape though. Has this made it to America yet? Let me know down in the comments below. Holy sh... the walls are kind of a mess here too. The landlord's decorating technique seemed to be like putting stickers everywhere, including over the painted walls. I don't know like why that was a thing that we thought was like a good idea. I don't know if it's because it was like the little girl. There were like stickers all over all the light switches when I moved in, like Snoopy stickers and smiley faces, and I had to like peel off stickers from all the light switches. You guys, what I thought was a Snoopy like 3D sticker is the actual light fixture. I have a place with a Snoopy light. But the problem is that some of the stickers left like weird stains that became part of the wall and like they can't come off. And if you try to wash them off, then it takes the paint off the wall, so that's great. And then the other problem is like he put this whole mural up of like hanging light fixtures, which like if you are gonna do that, which is so stupid anyway, why would you start here? Why wouldn't you start at the very top so it looks like the light fixtures are actually hanging from something? Why are they just like floating in space on the middle of a wall? I tried to start the process of peeling these off the wall, but it peeled the paint off the wall. So my new plan is now to just get some sort of like massive artwork and just like cover it up, because I really don't want this horrible sticker motif of like not very realistic looking light fixtures floating in space. There's even like a ghost of stickers passed over here. Why did they choose to cover the whole wall with a flower sticker? And now it's like, hi, I'm permanently a flower now. Great, love that for me. The other thing that they did that was kind of weird was they like stuck horrible artwork all over the wall. And I don't mean stuck like they hung it. I mean like it's literally like stuck to the wall with some sort of sticky substance. There were 3 little framed things side by side on the living room wall, and when I took them off, I found this. In the spare room right now, that is very much a spare room that like doesn't have any of the furniture that I need yet and is just full of like my suitcases and video equipment and exercise stuff and like holiday things that I don't need right now. There's this gorgeous just like Kincaid Christmas card moment here on the wall that I still haven't pulled off because I'm like afraid of what I'm gonna find underneath. Also like not related to stickers, but like what is this? Why would you do this? You had the whole wall and you chose here to hang a painting. Like, what's wrong with you? I don't get it. I think the problem is that like decorating just wasn't really their strong suit in the first place. Like there's horrible curtains in all 3 rooms that have curtains that desperately need to be replaced. Oh, so that's what happened to the fabric from my grandmother's couch. The laundry drying area has this little bench that has this weird like picnic blanket bed sheet thing over it. I don't really know. It needs to go. Like I feel like I'm living in a grandma house as a 30-something-year-old man. Let's start talking about some things that I actually do like instead of some things that are like driving me crazy that I can't wait to replace. I love that my bedroom has like a ton of closet space. I do kind of wish that like there was room on both sides of the bed for like end tables, and so that there wasn't just one, but the closet does open that way, so there's no way to do that. But like there's so much space for all my winter clothes, summer clothes, like everything. And it even has this cool little like pants rack, which is really convenient, so I don't need to like smash everything that I own in one row like I did at my old place. I also love this little like window box moment. Will I ever actually sit there? Probably not, because I have the same relationship with the sun as like those kids from The Others. But like, I don't know, I like knowing it's there. Like it's just, I don't know, it's cute. I don't love knowing that the person who like glued the toilet to the floor has obviously like never done that before in their lives, because it looks like they were trying to frost a cake. I don't really know what happened, but it's horrible. I'm hoping that I can get one of those like toilet shaped rugs that goes around the perimeter so I can like cover up that part of the toilet when people are here, because it does not look very good. Oh, I have to buy so much stuff. I also need to get used to the fact that this community is a lot different from my old community. Where I was living before, it was all like college students or like young professionals. There were no families, there were no children, there were no pets, and everybody there like was either coming or going. So it was always like really quiet. And because everyone was young, like no one cared that I was like the only foreigner there. Like nobody really cared. But here, like everyone's like 105 years old, and I feel like as soon as I walk in, everyone's like, I would just ignore it, like it doesn't bother me, it's fine, I've been here long enough. But some of the old people, they literally sit in chairs in front of my front steps that lead into my building all day, every day. And so like as soon as I turn the corner and start walking to my building, I have to make like long, lingering, uncomfortable eye contact with one of the old grandmas that sits out there, and she just kind of like like the whole time that I'm walking up to her. I actually think that we're like cool now though, because I always give her my recycling so she can make bank on like the plastic bottles. So that's fine, whatever. But it's definitely like different from my previous place. Also, like there's just people like outside here all the time. There's kids outside my window like at all hours of the morning, noon and night, playing games, screaming, chasing each other, giving each other tombstone pile drivers. There's like a weird gang of grandmas that sit outside and like play cards and spill the tea. We got this lady yo-yoing for her life over here. It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter what the weather situation is. So it's 8 o'clock at night. There's literally a thunderstorm on its way. And there's still like 20 kids outside of my apartment right now. Where are they even at? They're like in the trees over here having like a tea party. Meanwhile, oh, and the dog too, love that. There are always people outside, which like, whatever, let people live their lives. Usually it's not a problem. But when you want to sit down and film a video and all you can hear is like dog barking, children screaming, grandmas throwing down outside over poker, like it is kind of a problem, I'm not gonna lie. Also, like where I used to live, I was on the top floor and now I'm not. And so like there are people upstairs and I can hear them. And I also think they have like a baby. There's been some times where I can hear like the crying in the background and like a little bit like I can just feel my face as a little bit like. There's like two things in the world that I like can't tolerate. One of them is dog barking and one of them is baby crying. Like as soon as you get like one of those like white permed yappy dogs with the brown gunk in their eye and they just like yip 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 all day, like murder. I just see blood, all the blood. And like baby crying, I just like, I'm not a baby person. People are like, oh, here's my baby. Do you want to hold my baby? I'm like, I don't want to hold your baby. They're like, oh, all babies are cute. I'm like, really? I'm not here for it. I'm sorry. If you have a baby or if you are a baby, I'm sorry. Please subscribe to my channel. I don't know what they're doing upstairs. Usually it's pretty quiet, but then like 32 times a day, I can hear them dropping their entire marble collection and I can hear every glass marble being like, and I'm like, what are you doing up there? Like, what are you dropping? And why are you dropping it every single day? Like, the only thing you should be dropping is it, like it's hot. Is that hot? So yeah, that's my new apartment. I definitely still have like a lot of work to do. I need to buy a lot of art. I need to buy a lot of everything. And I just need to like get used to it a little bit more and figure out like what I need to do and like where is the best place to film. Like it was a challenge just trying to sit down and make this video. God only knows what I'm gonna hear in the background when I go to watch this back. They're literally doing construction on both sides of my building. On the left side of my building, there are like a lot of trees and there are cicadas and they literally just sit in the trees all day, morning, noon, and night and like scream. That's great. And then this morning, these people were drilling. I don't know if it was above me or beside me, but basically I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning because they were doing construction when I was still trying to sleep. And then over here, I have like all the people outside doing the most. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. There will be more videos coming. We filmed a video in Lanzhou that I never edited. We filmed a video in Pingyao Ancient City that I never edited. Vivian and I filmed a video in the springtime about going to look at the cherry blossoms that I never edited. Like I'm literally the worst person in the world. And then we're definitely gonna watch Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi. And I'm probably going to need to update you on this living situation and what eventually becomes of it. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, once again, please remember to click the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so that you know when I upload another video. Leave me a comment so we can talk down below. Let me know if there's anything that you want to know about China or if you want to see me cover a certain topic, a certain place, a certain food. Let me know. I'm open to ideas. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.